Hi everybody. In the previous class, we were discussing about Foreign Exchange Management Act FEMA, its historical background, its objectives, features, and needs. In this video, we are going to see some other aspects relating to foreign exchange management. And let us see for whom this act is applicable. Foreign Exchange Management Act is applicable to all parts of India. The Act is also applicable to all branches, offices, and agencies outside India owned and controlled by a person who is resident of India. In short, we can say that FEMA is applicable to all parts of India and also to all branches, offices, and agencies outside India which is owned and controlled by a resident of India. And why we have switched from FERA to FEMA? FEMA is more liberal in form than FERA, and FEMA is extended to the all of India. FEMA is more human and natural than FERA. It removes all the restrictions on drawal of foreign exchange. And these are the reasons why we have switched from FERA to FEMA. And let us see some of the difference between FERA and FEMA. The main objective of FERA was to conserve foreign exchange and to prevent the misuse. Because FERA was introduced by the British government in order to establish their colonies or in order to have a control over the foreign exchange. And the objective of FEMA is to facilitate external trade and payment and maintenance of foreign exchange market in India. And violation of FERA is considered as a criminal offense and violation of FEMA is a civil offense. FERA is like a criminal law. The British government had enacted the rules to exercise control over the colonies. Any offense under FERA was a criminal offense punishable with imprisonment as per Code of Criminal Procedure 1973. In case of FEMA, it is a civil law. Primarily, there is no imprisonment for violation of the law. Only penalty can be levied under Section 13. However, if the person cannot pay the penalty, then he can be arrested. In case of FEMA, the offense is considered to be a civil offense only punishable with some amount of money as penalty. Imprisonment is prescribed only when one fails to pay the penalty. And offenses under FERA were not compoundable. In case of FEMA, offenses are compoundable. In case of FERA, monetary penalty payable under was nearly 5 times amount involved. In case of FEMA, the quantum of penalty has been considerably decreased to 3 times the amount involved. In case of FERA, it is 5 times of the amount involved. In case of FEMA, it is 3 times of the amount involved. Then, citizenship was a criteria to determine the residential status of a person under FERA. There was big difference in the definition of resident under FERA and income tax. And in case of FEMA, the provision of FEMA are inconsistent with Income Tax Act in respect to the definition of term resident. Now the criteria of in India for 182 days to make a person resident has been brought under FEMA. If a person is staying for more than 182 days in India, then he is considered as a citizen or resident in Fema. Let us see some other differences between FERA and Fema. On the basis of definition, in FERA, current account is not defined, but in case of Fema, current account is defined well. As you all know that current account is applicable to a businessman. Current account convertibility has been already established through several RBI circulars since August 1994. Now it has been introduced in the new Act itself. No such facilities were allowed formerly. And another difference relating to provision is Section 81 defines that FERA is very complex, and FEMA under Section 49 it is defined FEMA is very simple. And in case of authorized person, a narrow definition is given relating to authorized person in FERA. This comes under Section 2, subsection B. A definition of authorized person has been widened to include banks, money changers, offshore banking units, etc. under FEMA. It comes under Section 2C. Then compatibility with IT. FERA is not dealt with IT, and FEMA considers a resident in India similar to IT. In case of right of assistance, FERA does not contain any express provision on the right of the impleaded person to take any legal assistance. But in case of FEMA, it expressly recognizes the right of appellant to take assistance of a legal practitioner or a chartered accountant. It is defined under Section 32. And these are some of the major differences between FERA and FEMA. Let us see some similarities between FERA and FEMA. The Reserve Bank of India and central government will continue to be the regulatory bodies of FEMA, and presumption of extra-territorial jurisdiction as envisaged in Section 1 of FERA has been retained, and the Directorate of Enforcement continues to be the agency for enforcement of the provision of the law, such as conducting search and seizure. So these are some of the similarities that is retained in FEMA and FERA. Let us see some regulations that comes under FEMA. Current Account Transactions Rules 2000, Permissible Capital Account Transaction Regulation 2000, Transfer or Issue of any Foreign Security Regulations 2000, Foreign Exchange Account by a Person Resident India Regulation 2000, Acquisition and Transfer of Immovable Property in India Regulation 2000, Establishment in India of branch or office or other place of business Regulation 2000, Manner of Receipt and Payment Regulation 2000, Export of Goods and Services Regulation 2000, Realization, Repatriation and Surrender of Foreign Exchange Regulations 2000, Possession and Retention of Foreign Currency Regulation 2000, Foreign Exchange, that is Compounding Proceedings Rules 2000. These are some of the rules and regulations that comes under FEMA. So we were discussing about why or to whom the FEMA is applicable. It is applicable to all parts of India and all branches offices outside India which is controlled by a resident of India, and the reason for switching from FERA to FEMA, and some of the differences between FERA and FEMA, some similarities that is retained in FEMA, and some of the rules and regulations that comes under FEMA.